All these calamities and whatnot have driven prices through the roof. It's a real headache. If these heroes of light actually exist, now would be a good time for them to put in an appearance. Yes, the heroes of light, we will lower taxes! Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Bravely Default 2. Last time, we started helping the locals here in Halcyonia with their troubles, including helping a talking monster and a man, who's a fisherman, find his master's knife, who was taken by a Sahagin. This time, we're going to be helping more of the locals with their problems, and potentially doing something that some might not fully agree with, but we'll get to that when we get to it. First things first, I want to talk to this little kid right here. I need to get it back, but that means going there again. Double dare. Ugh. I went to that old abandoned house to the north as a dare and left an important book there. Now I'm too scared to go back. Would you mind going and getting it for me? Get the Frightened Boys book back. Sure, we get Booster Bun Evasion for that, okay. And then real quick, I don't think I can just yet, but let's go ahead and head into the throne room, something that we couldn't do originally. There is a side quest for us. I want to go ahead and grab this treasure chest, though. Pilgrim's Hat. Then we can talk to King Vernon and Horden if we really wanted to. Sir Sloane informed me that you are accompanying Princess Gloria in her travels. I trust that you will do everything in your power to keep Her Highness safe, and to aid her in accomplishing her goal. I sure hope so. I wish you all the best on your onward journey, away from Halcyonia. Thanks, I guess? This quest right here. I've got all the seasoning under the sun, but what this dish really needs is a dash of color. Presentation is everything. I'm planning on whipping up a lovely omelet, but what it really needs is a dash of color. You eat with your eyes first, as they say. Can you fetch me a few sprigs of motley trefoil from the Hydrangea Hills? Sure, we can do that. That one we're not gonna tackle just yet, but I wanted to go ahead and grab before I forget it. I had it on my notes that if I didn't grab it as soon as I could, I would definitely forget about it. Let's go ahead and deal with this boy's book problem first. Okay, back here at the abandoned house, this is a very, very easy side quest to complete, as the book is just right at the entrance here. In Spooklopedia. I'd read something like that for sure. Okay, let's head back. Just so you know, you have to be in the nighttime for the boy to spawn in Halcyonia. So, while waiting for it to turn to nighttime, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut some grass. If I find anything, I'll let you guys know. Well, I didn't find anything too exciting, which is unfortunate, but either way, we do have a quest to complete. Hey there, kid. Thanks so much for getting my book back for me. It belongs to a friend, and he'd kill me if I lost it. He said it's a real page-turner, too. Come to think of it, I haven't actually looked at what it's about yet. Eek! It's a compendium of ghostly goings-on and hair-raising happenings! No, please! Ah! You know what? If you don't want it, just give it to me. Booster Bun Evasion. Again, those buns will raise your character's base stats. Pretty useful stuff. Okay, the next quest we're going to grab is right here in the inn. Adele has it for us, alright.
What's got you so excited, Adele?
Me? Oh, the innkeeper's been telling me about all the local cuisine. Did you know Halcyonia's famous for its food? I can't wait to try some.
Oh yeah? What kind of food are we talking about here?
All kinds, but seafood mainly. Shellfish and seasonal vegetable bouillon, a squid wrapped in seaweed. But the dish I like the sound of best is the silver smelt sautéed in lemon butter.
Silver smelt? People eat those things?
You know what they are?
Yeah, they're pretty rare, but sometimes they get tangled up in our nets. They look, well, kind of weird. Ugh. What kind of person would even think of taking a bite out of one of those?
They're certainly not the prettiest, but you wait till you taste one. Nothing brings out that flavour like a knob of butter and a squeeze of lemon. Pop a few nice fluffy potatoes on the side and there's simply nothing better.
Oh, I have to try this.
Sure, it sounds delicious, but silver smelt? Seriously?
Do they really look all that disgusting? Gosh, now I really want to try some. All right, I'm sold. I'll take the silver smelt and make it snappy.
There's just one thing, sorry. I should have mentioned this, but I got a little carried away. I'm afraid we're all out of butter. Have been for a while now. There's been word of a wolf on the road to the city, you see. The merchants we rely on are all too scared to make the trip. No ordinary wolf, mind you. They say it's the size of a small mountain and capable of eating a whole flock of sheep in one sitting.
But if we get rid of it, you'll cook me some fish, right? Right?
Well, yes, I suppose, but...
Say no more. One giant wolf pelt coming up.
You've really never seen a silver smelt, huh?
Oh, quit sniping. Everyone's a winner. No more wolf for these guys to worry about. And I get to try something new. Well, come on. Where's the harm? Huh? Huh?
You get pretty antsy when you're hungry.
Hey! That's what everybody back home used to say. Who've you been talking to?
Fine. All right. Whereabouts can we find this wolf?
On the North Road, if the rumours are to be believed.
Great. Let's get out there and find it. For the sake of your livelihood. And Adele's stomach.
Oh, I'd say the latter is your more immediate concern.
You too? Oh, fine. If you're going to be like that, I'll be outside.
Hey! Oh, man. Guess I better get after her.
As someone who isn't a very adventurous eater, I sympathize with Seth so much. If it looks ugly, I am not taking a bite out of it. Defeat Fenrir. Our butter supply is dried up because the merchants are so scared of this wolf. If you want to sample some silver smelt, you'll need to get rid of that awful creature. We get fresh fish for that. I'll go over what that is when we get it, but trust me, it's a very useful thing. Oh, we had a notification there and I didn't get to read it. No! I just saw there was Land Ahoy. I like the notifications for the land exploration. It was Summery Island, a flower-filled paradise where all sorts of unusual aromas filled the air. Oh, alright. Summer is not exactly my favorite season either, but I think I take it over spring, all-year spring location. Okay, where's that Fenrir wolf? We can open up our map here by pressing in on the right joystick, and we can see that it's just up a little bit. It's the red baseball diamond. I should probably stop saying that, but I think it's just so funny. Now, real quick, I'm going to make sure that I at least have something equipped on everyone for like a sub-job. All right, there we go. This is one of the main reasons why I would suggest having Seth as a black mage.
Looks like we found our wolf. You're going to pay for getting between me and my dinner.
Huh. I've never seen you this fired up about anything.
Okay, we've got our first overworld boss, aka a rare monster. We even got a unique theme for it. I'll go over the musics here in a little bit, but trust me, I like this soundtrack a lot. Let's go ahead and examine it. 3,120 HP, weak to water and bows. Let's see if we can poison it. Nope. Let's go ahead and default with Gloria. That quick default command that I put on the settings basically allows us to push the left bumper to default immediately, so we don't have to push the button. I didn't go over that, but I went ahead and talked about it now. So we have the special here for Black Mage, Iceberg Blast. Strike all enemies with a powerful water-imbued magic attack. Let's send it on Fenrir. With our Mithril Staff, this should do quite a bit of damage.
May ice impale you. Right on the money. Our voyage isn't over yet.
Okay, he's defaulting, so let's go ahead and speed things up and default ourselves. Sloan doing most of the damage here. Red Mist. He hurt himself to double his power, his physical attack. Holy crap, okay. Let's go ahead and use Adele here to do a defang and a crosscut. There we go. Counter physical attacks. Holy crap! That was probably not the smartest idea from me. Let's go in default here. Have Adele get raised by Sloan. And let's see if we can poke him with a blizzard here. He's braving. Holy crap. Alright, well, I'm glad I have that stuff on. That's what I get for messing around with physical attack boosting. I probably should have equipped a rod on Elvis if I was going to try and do that. So let's go ahead and use a Glorious turn here to try and heal everyone up. There we go. And then Adele default, Seth default, and Sloan finished off the Fenrir. I played that a little risky, but it all worked out. Seth learned Poison, Gloria learned Raise, which would have come in handy. Elvis learned Dungeon Master, and Adele didn't get anything. That's okay, though.
There! Now I can finally try some silver smelt!
Adele?
I mean, there! Now the road to Halcyonia is finally safe again!
That's more like it. Guess we'd better go tell the innkeeper all is well.
Alright, we defeated Fenrir. Let's go ahead and hop right back over to where we need to go, to the innkeeper. Again, we'll cover that other quest in just a second. I wanted to go ahead and tackle this first before we go and grab those motley trefoils. I pushed in on the right bumper there to showcase my current quests, if you were curious. Again, button layouts may differ depending on what you're playing on. If you're using a keyboard, then I'm sure it's a certain key somewhere.
You're back, and in one piece too.
We took care of the wolf. The road should be safe now.
Yes, a merchant friend told me. He was ever so grateful, as you might imagine. So grateful, in fact, that he gave me all the butter he had.
He did?
That's right. Sautéed silver smelt all round.
Yes! This was so worth it!
I really hope so. Can't say I'm not a little curious to see how it actually tastes, though.
That's the spirit. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Exactly. Now, would you like to watch while I prepare it for you?
Are you sure? That'd be great!
Really?
What's the matter?
It's probably better not to see what it looks like before it's cooked.
Oh, don't be silly. It'll be fine. I'm a woman of the world. I've eaten all kinds of weird and wonderful things in my time.
Right. Well, I'll just hang back here if that's okay.
What the heck is that? It's... Wait. Those are its eyes? Stop it! Stop looking at me!
Adele took one for the team. Alright, we obtained some fresh fish from that. And a party chat. Cooking with Adele. So, do you cook yourself, Adele? What's your specialty? Ha! Do I ever? I make a mean stew. Chunks of juicy meat that just fall off the bone, freshly picked mushrooms, seasonal veggies. You can't go far wrong if you get the ingredients right. You mean anybody can make it? Ha! As if. You want to be making cuisine at my level, you need to be a master of matching those ingredients with one another. And you also need to have your own signature twist. Mine's honey. Honey? In a stew? Does that really work? You bet it does, but only if you know what you're doing. I should very much like to try one of those stews of yours, Adele. And I'll be happy to make you one. Just don't ask me to put any of that disgusting fish in it. Silver smelt? Ha! The noise you made when you finally saw one. Please don't remind me. I'll try my best. Won't be easy though. It was hilarious. I agree. That's one of my favorite cutscenes so far. It's really cute. Okay, let's go ahead and what I'm gonna do is let's go ahead and talk about the fresh fish that we just obtained. It is considered a monster treat. Fresh fish can be used to lure aquatic monsters into continuous battles. This is very, very important. as these monster treats allow for us to quickly create these continuous battles that we saw earlier that give us those bonuses that help us level jobs and our characters much, much faster. We get 3 of these right off the bat, and the location that we're about to go to, where we can find the Motley Trefoils, have a lot of aquatic enemies in there. You can probably see where I'm going with this. First things first here, I'm gonna go ahead and swap everyone over to Freelancer. Next, I'm actually gonna go ahead and buy, let's do 2 Kukris here. Give one to Seth, and then we'll give one to Adele here. We'll remove her Francisca here, and also probably remove one of our heavy armor pieces. Seth met Gok 18 Uri 1. It was that Goki 8 Uri 1. I didn't really get to read the rest of it. Yeah, we get to see some very interesting usernames in this game. Let's go ahead and equip another dagger for Adele here. I'm equipping our characters and loading them out with this kind of stuff because I'm going to use that fresh fish while we're exploring that dungeon to get Freelancer to as high of a job level as possible. And I would actually suggest that you do the same if you're playing along. Yes, it means you'll be fighting a crap ton of enemies, and you might even see it as grinding. But I would suggest don't go overboard, just use the 3 fresh fish you've obtained with this quest. Fight as many aquatic enemies as you can while utilizing these fresh fish, and go with that when it comes to how much EXP and JP you've obtained. Trust me, I think it will be worth it in the long run. So if we want to reach this dungeon here, we have to go across the bridge to the northeast of the abandoned house, which leads us to a bunch of enemies we haven't seen yet. I'm try and avoid getting into conflict with any of them just yet, since they're not my main priority, and enter the dungeon. This area is so pretty. I've got the nice little bloom effect, which I'm not a big fan of bloom, but it adds like a sense of wonder to this place. There's an axolotl right there, and Sahagins, both are considered aquatic enemies. So if we were to equip that fresh fish, we would be able to trigger consecutive battles by just fighting a few of them. The trefoil here is actually really easy to find. They're right next to each other, so we can complete this quest pretty easily. There are 11 treasure chests for us here as well. One has a star pendant. We look and see what that is. HP plus 500. Who has the lowest health here? Elvis and Adele. They probably don't have any accessories that currently give them any HP boosting. So we can go ahead and give that to Elvis, I guess. Though, actually, let's give that to Gloria, since she has white magic as her sub-job, and that'll boost her restoration power by quite a bit. There is a teleportation pad for us right there, and this is actually where I would recommend if you're going to use the fresh fish, use them now. So, let's go ahead and check that out. Fresh fish. You're more likely to get into continuous battles with aquatic monsters. And then we walk right over here, they get attracted to us. Fortunately, I didn't get to fight 2 of them right there. And honestly speaking, what I would suggest you do is just go full auto here. I guess for right now, let's go ahead and examine these guys. Just so we can see what we're going up against. These are stronger Sahagins and rat bits. They are the bat bits. The bad bits. They have an average of about 400 HP. That's kind of what we're going to be dealing with here. The idea here is that because we have Sir Sloan in our party, he will be doing most of the effort, most of the work here, as we can see. If you wanted to make this even easier, you can also switch the game over to casual mode, as it will make the enemies slower, letting you get more and more turns and fight the enemies even faster. They will still do the exact same amount of damage, have roughly the same amount of health, but you'll be able to take them out quicker. Overall, I'm going to be utilizing the fresh fish here to see if I can get my freelancers up to at least job level 10. I know, that seems really high, but actually, maxing out jobs in this game is very simple. As we can see here, we got 142 JP from just 3 consecutive battles here. Well, 4. We got a 60% boost to our JP here. And we got plant food right there, which is another monster treat, but for plant-based enemies. Let's see if we can lure this axolotl here. I wanted to see if I could lure multiple of them over. There we go. Right there, the y-axis doesn't matter. Because we grouped up 2 aquatic enemies, the amount of battles we have a chance of obtaining is even higher. I grabbed kukris here because most of the enemies here that we're going to be fighting are vulnerable to daggers. I do have bows here because some enemies are weak to bows. But for the most part, daggers are going to be what you want to grab here. Honestly, you don't even really need to worry about healing yourself, as Sir Sloan will have you covered. And since he does not brave himself, he will always have a turn active. And so you can just kind of auto-battle and do whatever you want in the background if you really want to. I guess while we're here, let me go ahead and talk about a few things. Since we're braving constantly and just doing regular attacks, let me go ahead and talk about the way that the turn orders work in this game, because it's a little strange. Combat in this game works off of a tick system, with the cooldown to a character's next turn indicated by the bar beneath their HP, MP, and BP. Each action you take on your turn will set that character's cooldown period to a fixed value before they can act again. This value is then adjusted based on your character's speed and weight. Told you they're important. Every single ability in Bravely Default 2 has its own set action cost that will be the base for determining when your next turn will come around, with stronger attacks generally having longer cooldown periods compared to weaker actions. Now, a character cannot actually begin their cooldown period until another person on the field has made another move. This is important to note because it can mean that if multiple party members are matching their turns with each other, they won't be able to act until the enemy does, due to them all being on the same cooldown tick. That's why even if you have Seth with like 999 speed versus a single goblin on his own, the turn orders will constantly alternate between the two of them rather than Seth just lapping the goblin, because he's on his cooldown period and he can't act again until someone else has. This isn't to say that speed and weight are actually hindering your team, or that you shouldn't try to align party members for combo moves, but you should at least be a little mindful with when your party's actions are coming around to avoid it all piling up and the enemy just getting a free turn because everyone else is on their cooldown period. There's just a lot more I can go into when it comes to this, thinking on it, but frankly, I think it's way too much for me to cover this video alone. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to a wonderful Reddit post over action costs and the tick system in the description that goes into way more detail over this if you're curious. With that being said, I also want to bring up the little red exclamation points here that the enemies have over their character models. There isn't a clear way to indicate when an enemy is going to act next. That exclamation point just means that they are about to act soon. It does not mean they're about to act next. It's just a loose guide on how to tell when an enemy is about to attack you. I don't like it. So I would rather there just be like a little turn order thing in the top right corner just telling me when enemies are going to be acting. But the developers in multiple interviews explicitly stated that they wanted to keep the turn orders somewhat ambiguous to add this sense of tension to every single battle. And honestly, I feel like that just kind of goes against some of the strategy that these types of games have. It's definitely not my favorite addition that they had. Okay, I guess I could talk about something else. Elvis. For reference, his name is Elvis Leslie. The Bravely franchise love their puns, and I respect it here. Actually, there are a lot of musical references throughout this game when it comes to music artists or songs or just like the music theory in general. Like, Musa could be a reference to music, or it could be a muse, like a muse. Adele could be a reference to the singer Adele, though that might not be as on the nose. But Elvis Leslie's pretty cool. But another thing about Elvis is that in every piece of major concept and promotional artwork for Bravely Default 2, he is showcased with the Black Mage asterisk. this is the only time in the entire franchise up to this point, at least the mainline franchise, where a main character is shown with a non-freelancer asterisk as their sort of signature job. Every other game, there is a signature character outside of the main cast that asterisk can be associated with. Elvis is the Black Mage asterisk holder, and I think that's pretty cool. You very rarely see him with the freelancer attire in promotional artwork or promotional trailers to begin with, outside of the very, very first teaser trailer for this game, which I kind of just chalk up to the idea that they probably didn't have the Black Mage design finalized, and so they just put him on his freelancer design. Though, also, I wouldn't be surprised if they finished Elvis's design with Black Mage in mind first. Now, obviously, we've been doing a lot of just hitting enemies constantly, and while I have set aside about 20-ish minutes to sit here and just, cleanse the local axolotl population, I do want to say that if you do not want to do this grinding session, you do not have to. This is not required at all, but I would highly suggest taking advantage of the free fresh fish that the game gives you here to get as much JP on your freelancers as possible. The main reason for that being is that they have two passive abilities, JP up and JP up and up, that will make leveling jobs later down the road much, much easier. As this game is definitely one that suggests that you level grind periodically throughout the game to have access to new abilities when they become available to you. And if you have those JP up and JP up and up abilities, level grinding those jobs as soon as you get them becomes so much easier, to the point where you don't have to really grind at all. So if that doesn't convince you to do this little side gig that the game gives you the items to do, you don't have to do any preparation on your own for it, that's perfectly okay. I would still suggest you try out a little bit for this stuff, but if you really don't want to do any of this, that is fine. I will be providing strategies and ideas for how to approach these encounters that we'll be getting into later if you do not do this strategy, as I will be higher level and have higher job levels than you would normally if you were to just progress the story from the get-go. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and do just a quick montage of me leveling up, and I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to the various themes that we've heard throughout the game, since I haven't really had the time to showcase them to you in full, so here they are. To give you an idea, just real quick, with one fresh fish, I got one from a Sahagin, so I have 3 again. With one fresh fish, I was able to get everyone except for Elvis's freelancer to job level 8. With about 3 fresh fish, 4 being a very comfortable number, you could very easily cap your freelancers right now. So let's go ahead and use another one. I'm going to be using 3 fresh fish here, because I think I'm confident enough that that'll be enough. And we'll see what I am at. Alright, back to the music. So with 2 fresh fish down, I now have 5 of them from fighting all these Sahagins, so I can technically keep doing this if I really wanted to for the other jobs. And with 2 fresh fish down, I've gotten everyone to job level 10 on Freelancer. And honestly, that's not a bad place to stop if you really want to. It gives you 1 JP up, which will increase the amount of JP you've earned by 20%, which is a very, very good amount. And it only takes 1 passive ability slot, which is pretty good. We also got self-healing, which I'll go over real quick. Cures poison, blindness, and silence when battle ends. And there's a few other things we got, like Lucky Charm increases a target's luck for 5 turns. We also got Purge, removes Berserk, Confusion, Dread, Charm, and Doom from a target. And we got Square 1, removes various status effects from a target. Next, we have Body Slam and JP Up and Up. Those are the two big ones. Body Slam deals physical damage to a target based on the user's encumbrance and delays a target's turn, encumbrance being weight. JP Up and Up is JP earned is increased by a multiple of 50%. Increases to 70% JP increase if it's paired with JP Up. That is the biggest reason why I'm doing this, so I can get that 70% JP increase for the rest of the game from the get-go. So let's go ahead and use our third fresh fish. This would be the most we could get out of just the quest alone. This should be enough to get us to job level 12. And there we are. Everyone now has Freelancer mastered. So, I still have a little bit of time left. Actually, it's about to end here. With 3 fresh fish, we were able to get everyone to job level 12. And level 12 for that matter. So basically, the game gives you a free chance to get one job to maximum at the very start of the game. Just hands you it. All you have to do is beat Fenrir. That's all you have to do. It's a very easy fight. And it just hands you job level 12 for everyone on one job. And Freelancer, again, is the most important one to cap at this point because it gives you the opportunity to level up every other job in the game much, much faster. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and swap everyone else back to the job they originally were on and have everyone sub-job Freelancer. Just because the abilities that Freelancer has, especially for Adele here with Body Slam, will be very important. And along with that, we are going to be very quickly equipping JP Up and Up and JP Up on everyone and keeping it on them for a considerable chunk of the game. There we go. What were you doing here again? Oh yeah, we were grabbing items for this lady. I guess we can go ahead and head back there. There are 10 treasure chests for us here in this dungeon, but we'll be coming back here for a later quest anyways, and I'll grab them then. So my math might be a little off, but just going off of my recording timer, I think I was in that dungeon total for about 35 minutes, give or take, maybe a little longer than that. That's really not that bad. To save time on grinding for the rest of the game, yeah, I'll take that. Just look at its beautiful hue. It's a feast for the eyes, and it will complement my omelet's eggy shade of yellow to a T. Thank you. It might seem like a lot of effort, it kinda was, but one must never scrimp on the small things. Attention to detail is the hallmark of great cuisine. Alright, report back and we get some small JP orbs. You could technically also use that if you want to try and bump up the grinding just a little bit more, but small JP orbs really don't amount to much. They're just there if you want. And I guess since Wow, our playtime's already almost 4 hours. Holy crap. I guess we can go ahead and check in on our boat and grab the spoils of victory. Okay, our first treasure was 2 medium JP orbs. Now, that's good. Summary Island didn't have anything. Okay, so that was really our only thing. We had an hour and 53 minutes for an exploration. Let's go ahead and start up another one. There we go. Thank you, boat lending woman. And with that, I think that about covers it for helping people out here in Halcyonia. That was a lot of side quests, and we've already maxed out our first job on episode 4, no less.
Whoopsie-daisy!
Trust me, that's very worth it. Anyways, next time on Bravely Default 2, we will finally be setting out for Savalon. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.